called the Ultron program. I'm sick of watching people pay for our mistakes.
Isn't why we fight so we can end the fight and go home?
Well, you amazingly failed.
Welcome everybody to another Native Thoughts Review. Again, Native Thoughts Review with a movie review. This time for the first big, pretty much summer movie event of the first movie of the summer. And it is going to be Avengers Age of Ultron. And the big anticipated Avengers. The sequel to the original Avengers. And this one, we have the same group again. Captain America, Iron Man, Hawkeye, Black Widow. We have Thor, Hulk. And we have some new entries in there like such as Division, and we also have Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. Real quick synopsis of what the movie's about, if you didn't know what it's about, if you don't follow any of them. This one's about Tony Stark creating AI, artificial intelligence program called Ultron, and that little AI has a little specific mind of its own, and it wants to destroy the world and kill mankind, and the Avengers must assemble to defeat Ultron. Sorry. And pretty much that's a quick synopsis. One quick thing, if I want to say if I liked it or not, I have to separate because it's just like as I did with Fast and Furious, I have to see for the fans and I have to see for just like reviewing the movie. If you're a diehard fan, you're going to love this movie no matter what. You're going to love it. You're gonna defend it to the day you die. But if you're, how you say it? Out of all this universe of all the films so far, we have all the Iron Man movies, Thor, the Hulk, at least one Hulk movie, and then you have those two Captain Americas, and then you have Guardians. Out of all those lines, in my personal opinion, I believe that this is probably the least. This is probably the weakest one in a way, because I mean, this is the thing. That's why they all have their own story. They all have their own films to show their characters. And we're not supposed to know more about their background because that's why most of them have their own movies, or most of them come out in their movies. And as for this one, we do have this. I mean, the one thing you have to give us a specific, perfect plot to why is this big bad villain wants to kill the world or wants to destroy people, and Avengers must help each other to help defeat them. We do get that, but one of the biggest things is that we do get that, but it is very a blockbuster Hollywood film, in which is okay. We're gonna set them in this location, China, doesn't matter, India, and fight scene. Move it along another location, dialogue, then another location, fight scene. I did have a problem with that because there was a point where I did not know what the hell the plot was going with. I understand the Ultron theory. I understand the whole Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. They're really minor characters. If you really think they're gonna have like full details, you're not gonna get. You just like, come in and quick out. But they do support the movie a lot by the end. Like I said, you do get specific plots. There is a point where it is about Ultron, but then again, it goes back into why. Captain America reason why he wants to keep avenging, and Tony Stark why he feels so guilty about what happened in the past movie. And you do get that, but also you have the fact that you have to deal with Ultron, and then you also have to deal with later on by the end of the movie you have the story about the Vision. And the Vision is a perfect character, but the only problem about the Vision is that you do get minor problems in which it comes in and it does create some perfect element, but the only problem is that it does come at the very end, and maybe it could say by the last movie, but it's just well, I mean, one thing, it is an entertaining movie. It's fun as hell to watch. It has a lot of jokes into it. It has more fun humor and puns than usually, dramatic points. But there are some dramatic points that I did like in there. But like I said, like one thing, I do feel like this is the weakest one from all of them. I mean, when Captain America 2 is probably the best one, and right with there is Iron Man 3 and Guardians, and this one's like at the very bottom. This one, it's more action, it's more adventure, it's more explosion than the first Avengers, don't get me wrong. But there is a point where it does want to do kind of what you got toned down, because by the last climactic fight is really long, and it feels really long, and then it feels like it just ends abruptly, And supposedly there is a long cut of this film, and I don't know if I want to ever see that one, because I feel like Avengers: Age of Ultron Ultron is a great character. He's sarcastically James Spader, perfect voice casting. But I do feel like it's always one of those movies where it's gonna be liked in this mix. It's really mixed. It's liked and then it's not liked. But you do have a lot of problems with fanboys and diehards and love this movie, and you have all the rights to do, because I mean you have about 7 or 8 movies to build this whole trilogy, this whole theory, this whole universe, and then you have this one, and I do feel like it's overwhelming, and it's too hyped up, it's way too hyped up than what it should be. And is it great though? It should be hyped up because it's a cinematic event. It's actually with Star Wars fans, with the Fast and Furious fans. It's one of the movies where I enjoyed, but I don't think I will be watching it anytime soon again. I will not rush back to go to the movies to see it again. I do think it's a fun watch at home. If I have to review, if I have to give it a good way to watch it, I would say probably watch it at early matinee or just watch it at home, because it's a great movie. It's gonna make its money back, but I do feel like it's a little overwhelming. You have a lot of pressure into what you want to expect, and you might like it, and then you might end up coming out being like, it's like whatever. It is an overwhelming movie. It's overwhelming and it's overhyped, but it's always one of those movies where it's always gonna have its fans, and it's always gonna be great. The scenes are great. I do feel like they could taken off some scenes or taken off a couple 15-20 minutes off there to give a little bit more story, because we got enough stories. But it's one of those like with Fast and Furious, where every dialogue the character's gonna say is always gonna be Fast and Furious. I'm talking. It's gonna be about family. Dominic Toretto's says, "I got family." With the Avengers, you're gonna get always like, "Oh, we're avenging. Oh, we're avenging," or whatever. It's always, and I kind of noticed that, and it always got to my nerves. By the end of it, it's like, "Oh, we're avenging. That's what we do. It's our job, And it's understandable, and they take it like a serious job, and that's the point of the whole Avenger theory, the whole Avenger thing. And so, pretty much, like I said, like I would say watch it. I do think it's probably the weakest one from all of them. It's probably up there with the weakest one, being Iron Man 2. Is it better than the first one? No. Is it good as the first one? Yes. If that makes any sense to me, because the first one's excellent. This one is okay, it's good. It could have been way more, but this is why I do believe that's why we have the Avengers. We have their own movies. That way, the Avengers could just be destroying one big main villain with a small plot. But everybody, this is Native Thoughts. If you wanna listen to this audio, well, let me take that back. If you listen to this audio, you can watch this on YouTube. If you listen to this audio on SoundCloud, you can watch this video on YouTube. And if you're watching this video on YouTube and you don't have time to look at the screen, you can listen to it on SoundCloud. This is Native Thoughts. Go check out my early reviews I have. Hope you do check out Age of Ultron. My personal opinion was that I would rather watch it at home. It is overhyped, and I do believe it deserved that hype, but it should be minimal because it is a great movie. But I enjoy most of it, but I did felt like there was a point when they could have taken off a little bit of the action and added more story to it. But that's just nitpicking. Anyways, I don't want to give it too much because I can't give away too much. It's one movie where you do not have to give too much. Anyway, everybody, hope you have a good night. Everybody, take care.